How does a moment last forever? How can a story never die? It is love we must hold on to. Never easy, but we try. Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Bobby, aka Paginator, and I'm here today with the Beauty and the Beast book tag. You might have seen my last tag, which was the fandom book tag, and I mentioned in that video that I was just in the mood to do a couple of tags, so I actually decided to do one that was specific to one of my very favorite fandoms of all time, Beauty and the Beast. It is my favorite Disney movie. I don't know if that will ever change. Yeah, it just is. I mean, could you be that surprised? A book nerd liking a movie about a girl who reads a lot of books? But just to let you know, the original creator of this tag was Kirsty from Kirsty and the Cat Read. I stumbled across this on ZZ with Books, which is a WordPress blog I spoke about in my last video as well. It had a whole list of book tags, and I saw this Beauty and the Beast one and I went, yes please. So this has 8 prompts, and so we're going to be talking about 8 different books, and here we go. Alright, before we get to the prompts, I thought it would be fun to show you. I've been doing a little bit of rearranging, and you might be able to see right here, I've got some Beauty and the Beast stuff on this shelf. Let's see if I can zoom in and give you a good look. Oh, hang on. There we go. We've got a Beast plushie. We've got a mini figure of Belle in her wedding gown. We've got a Funko of Belle holding a book in her dress that she's in at the beginning of the movie. We've got a teeny tiny adorable of Belle. We've got Belle in her yellow gown. We've got a Funko Mini of LeFou, a Funko Mini of Belle in the yellow gown, and then a figure of Lumiere. And now, on to the prompts. Prompt number 1 is, tale as old as time. A popular theme, trope, or setting you will never get bored of reading. One of my favorite tropes is hate to love. And I was trying to think of a book that fit in this because there's tons, but I wanted to go with a book that's been out for quite a while. So I'm going to talk to you today about 52 Reasons to Hate My Father. Okay, so 52 Reasons to Hate My Father is by Jessica Brody, and it is following a young girl called Lexi. She is the daughter of a very rich man, and she's a typical spoiled brat teenager, crashes a really expensive Mercedes, and her father decides that he is going to make her work one different job every week for an entire year. So 52 weeks, hence the 52 reasons why she hates her dad. There is another element to this though. Luke is a guy who works for her dad, and he's put in charge of managing Lexi and making sure that she does her jobs. Luke is her age or maybe a little bit older. I know that's a tropey thing too, but these two are enemies at the beginning, and then something sparks between them as we go on the journey. Prompt number 2 is all about Belle. This is a book you bought for its beautiful cover that's just as beautiful on the inside. And for this one, I'm going to go with Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. So first, let's take a look at this cover. It is really, really shiny and really beautiful. And Julie Kagawa is a great author. I fell in love with her work reading the Iron Face series. And I'm going to read a little bit to the Dust Jacket to you because it's been quite a while since I read this. So I'll give you a better recap of the story if I read from this. Does that make sense? Okay. 1,000 years ago, the great Kami dragon was summoned to grant a single terrible wish, and the land of Iwagato was plunged into an age of darkness and chaos. Now, for whoever holds a scroll of 1,000 prayers, a new wish will be granted, a new age is about to dawn. Raised by monks in the isolated Silent Winds Temple, Yumiko has trained all her life to hide her yokai nature. Half kitsune, half human, her skill with illusion is matched only by her penchant for mischief, until the day her home is burned to the ground, her adoptive family is brutally slain, and she is forced to flee for her life with the temple's greatest treasure, one part of the ancient scroll. There are many who would claim the dragon's wish for their own. Kage Tatsumi, a mysterious samurai of the Shadow Clan, is one such hunter, under orders to retrieve the scroll at any cost. Fate brings Kage and Yumiko together. With a promise to lead him to the scroll, an uneasy alliance is formed, offering Yumiko her best hope for survival. But he seeks what she has hidden away, and her deception could ultimately tear them both apart. So, I did get this quite a while ago, and as I said, it's been ages since I've read it, but I remember just loving it, and of course, loving this luminescent, glowy, shiny, shimmery cover. I don't know if because of the lights and stuff in here, if it's picking up exactly how shiny even the red parts are on this, but it's gorgeous, and the story was really great. Prompt number 3 is all about the Beast. This is a book that you didn't expect much from, but were pleasantly surprised by. And so for that one, I'm going to go with the Fire on High. I absolutely fell in love with this book, just like Belle falls in love with the Beast. Yeah, it's so good. I've read it and reread it and reread it and re-listened to it. Let's just take a look at this cover for a second. It's so pretty. Oh, This is about Imani, who is a young teenage mom. She shares custody with the biological father of her child. He just comes to get the baby for visits and stuff, but she is mostly on her own. She does live with her abuela, so she has some support, but she's also trying to finish high school, and she really wants to become a chef. She joins the culinary class and is offered the opportunity to travel abroad to learn to cook in Spain, I believe it is. And she has to decide if she's going to be able to leave her baby with her grandma for a while and go on this adventure. She also has to be able to afford it, and just the growth of this character and the beauty of the storytelling, just so good. So prompt number 4 is all about Gaston. This is a book that everyone else seems to love, but you don't. And for this one, I'm going to go with The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I tried to read this several times and just could not get into it. I tried to read the physical copy that I had. I tried to listen to the audiobook, and it just wasn't for me. I don't know why. And I know that lots of people love it. I've only really heard, I think, one booktuber talk about not enjoying it. I think that was Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin. Everyone else seems to love it, so maybe it's just me and Gavin that don't. I don't know. But it's just not a book for me. Although if you enjoy circuses and like creepy things and spooky vibes and stuff, it does have good atmosphere. It was very Tim Burton-esque, if that's a thing, and it might be good for you to try out. Prompt number 5 is all about LeFou, a loyal sidekick you can't help but love more than their counterpart. The first moment that I read this prompt, immediately a character from an old 80s movie jumped to mind, and that is Turtle from the movie North Shore. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that movie. It's a really bad, cheesy 80s surfer movie. And there's this character called Turtle who is just adorable and funny, and just love him. And then, of course, I couldn't help but think of Ron Weasley, because he is always termed as Harry's sidekick in the Harry Potter books. But I talk about Harry Potter so much, I thought, you know what, I want to go with someone else. So I'm going to talk about Puck from Iron Fey series. This is a series by Julie Kakawa, so this is her second appearance in this tag. And this series is about a young girl who gets caught up in the world of the Fae, and at the beginning, Puck is her best friend and just brings a sense of humor to things, although does eventually become part of a love triangle situation. And so, especially in the beginning, he is very much a sidekick. I am sorry, I can't say words. I never can. I always stumble over them. Anyway, Puck is such a funny guy and also such like a stand-up good guy that I was always rooting for him. Always just adore him. Definitely a series that you should go check out. Prompt number 6 is about 4 characters: Mrs. Potts, Chip, Lumiere, and Cogsworth. A book that helps you through a difficult time or that taught you something meaningful. And I decided to go with the Taught Me Something Meaningful, and the book that I'm going to speak about is 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. Now, I want to be very clear. I am not talking about the TV series or Netflix series or whatever. That's crap. I am talking about the book. Before the series came out, I would talk to my students about this book all the time and how the way you treat people matters. So let's back up and talk about the story. Our main character is a young teenage boy who gets a package which contains some cassette tapes, and a girl who goes to his high school who has died by suicide has sent these tapes apparently to him, but also to 12 other people, and these tapes are her narrating the 13 reasons why she chose to take her life. He is number 13, so he's the last one to get these tapes, and it's not because he did anything overtly wrong to her, but also he didn't do anything to help her. And again, this book taught me in a way that very few other books ever have, that the little ways in which we treat other people matter and make a difference. And that's something I try to think about and remember every day when I'm doing my job, even when my students are being such middle schoolers that I want to yell. I try really hard not to. Prompt number 7 is, there must be something there that wasn't there before. This is a book or series that you weren't into at first but picked up towards the end. Now, to be honest, I don't know if I have one of these, because with series, if I don't like it in the beginning, I'm not going to continue. But I do have a series that has kind of started slow for me that I want to continue in the hopes that it picks up, so it mostly fits this part, but I don't know if it's going to pick up as I continue the series. And that is Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead. I have read the first 2 books in this series, and so far they've been kind of okay. I want to become more invested in these characters, especially so that I can learn more about, like, when this series was really hot and everybody was in love with, like, Dimitri and all these guys, like, why? I'm waiting for something to spark that, like, love in me. Maybe I am too jaded with my experience from Twilight to appreciate this. But this is a vampire series. It follows Rose and Lissa, and these 2 girls attend St. Vladimir's Academy, which is a place where vampire royalty and their guardians to be attend and train. And we have different kinds of vampires, Moroi and Strigoi, and things happen in the first 2, but I just, like I said, had a hard time really, like, devoting my heart to it. So if I should pick up the 3rd book and continue on with the series, I really hope that that gets better for me. Our final prompt is, be our guest, be our guest. And this is a fictional character you'd love to have over for dinner. Oh boy, there's a list. There is a list of characters that I want to talk to, but I really thought for a while about who would just be fun, who would have things to say, who would have opinions about things, who might be a little quirky, a little weird, and who would actually want to have a conversation. Because you could invite Katniss Everdeen over for dinner, but she's just going to want to eat. She's not going to want to have a deep conversation with you. So the person I ended up picking is Miss Luna Lovegood. You can see her on my special cover of Harry Potter number 5, The Order of the Phoenix. I feel like Luna would be a fantastic character to have dinner with. She is a writer. She becomes the editor of the Quibbler later in years. She has a lot of opinions about things to do with the magical world that not everyone knows about, like Nargles and, you know, dirigible plums and so many other things. She has a unique take on life. Some of the most interesting viewpoints. I mean, Harry even brought him with her to a dinner party in this book, so I mean, she might just make a good dinner party guest. So there we go. That's going to be it for my Beauty and the Beast book tag, and I guess that's all I've got to say for today. So I'm going to sign out and try to go do something useful, and I hope you guys have a wonderful, magical, and bookish day. Happy reading! Adios!